Welcome to Marketing Made Simple TV. My name is Jeff Ogden, the host of the show, and I'm really excited about today's guest, Dot Jenna Ryan. And Jenna's going to talk to you about, the theme of this show is Fame is Up for Grabs, and she is wonderful. She knows how to, and I think it's so important for people to learn how to promote yourself gently and become famous. So let's welcome Dot Jenna to the show.
Hi.
Hang on a second. Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you doing?
Good, good. Hang on, I don't know what happened to my screen.
I see you. You look great.
Good. All right. Well, Jenna, I'm really glad to have you on the show today, and I'm excited about what we're going to talk about.
Sorry.
And we're going to talk about, yeah, that's okay. You look beautiful, by the way. But we're going to talk about how people can promote themselves and become well known, which I think for every executive out there, that's an important thing. But before we start, I'm going to ask you the question I ask every guest on the show. It's a tradition. Who are you and what do you do?
Okay. Thank you very much. I am Dot Jenna, and I am many, many things to many, many people. I'm a social media coach, first and foremost. I also am a motivational speaker, a writer, a blogger, and a marketer. And I kind of would consider myself a web personality kind of thing because I do little things online. I really live out loud. My life is inside out, and it's online either somewhere. It's on, Blogger or WordPress or Tumblr or Twitter or YouTube or whatever, Facebook. I'm all over the place, and I have little bits of myself, and it's like little breadcrumbs all over. And this has really been incredible. It has created for me this really unusual following, and what people say is like a cult-like following of just really awesome fans and friends and connections that trust me to give them information about social media, as well as to entertain them with my crazy antics. And that's who I am. I don't want to go on all day. I could. If you'd like, I could go on a whole hour. But
I know you could, but, we are on the clock. This is a TV show. So, but I think there's one thing I want to talk to you about, because it's one thing to be online and publishing and everything, but I think I want to ask you about why is it so important to inject your personality into everything you do?
Well, because self-disclosure is, well, for one thing, self-disclosure, it leads to social attraction, and that's a scientific proven fact that whenever you disclose parts of yourself, when you're authentic and when you're real, it literally attracts people to you. Why? Well, because we're sick and tired of fake. We like reality TV now. We're tired of seeing things that are canned and fake and actually manipulative. We're smart. The consumer today is highly intelligent, and they don't have to put up with, a bunch of lies. And so whenever they can see you for who you really are, they can see your true self, that is endearing. And that causes people to be attracted to you. And not just attracted, but also captivated. The fact of the matter is that people will go out of their way to do business with those that they know, they like, and they trust. That's Zig Ziglar who said that. They will drive extra miles to work with somebody that they know, they like, and they trust. Well, if you have infused your true personality, the truth of who you are online, then people will go out of their way to do business with you, and you become very influential among your core target market, whoever that may be. Back to you.
Great tips there. And I think, what does it take in order to let's say, the theme of this show is Fame is Up for Grabs. What do you think are some of the keys to it? Does it take money? Does it take advertising? Does it take, what are the personality characteristics of someone who can be successful with building their personal fame?
Okay, you are going to have to be an enthusiastic person. If you are boring, we are going to go to sleep. So you have really got to infuse not just your normal, typical excitement, but you have to be like totally excited all the time. You have to be like, oh my gosh, this is so incredible. Because I mean, you don't have to be fake necessarily, but you really need to amp it up because people don't want to be bored. And that's especially if you're talking video. Now, if you're talking, okay, and so let me backtrack. He was asking, what's the most important characteristics? That's a couple questions he asked me at once. What are the characteristics of someone who becomes famous online or who can become famous online? Somebody with a charismatic personality is going to be your best bet. Somebody who's dramatic and fun and not afraid to try new things and not like all nervous about if they accidentally tweeted the wrong thing. Oh my gosh. You can't be worried. You just kind of have to go with the flow, okay? And then another thing that's very important, which is so strange and bizarre, and that is that you need to be informative. Like I'm finding that if I am not providing valuable information, my popularity goes down the tubes. I mean, literally, I'm only as good as my last article, okay, almost. I mean, it's crazy, but you have got to provide valuable information in a good format that your audience wants to see. Most of the time, that's little bitty chunks today. Used to, we would write articles, but now people don't even have attention span for articles because they're being bombarded with so much information. So the two integral things would be personality, charisma, bravery, boldness, enthusiasm, and energy. And then the second thing would be information, valuable information that people want. Unless your target market is the 13-year-olds, then it's got to be entertainment out the wazoo. And you just have to find out what your niche wants. They're looking at you saying, what's in it for me? You know, you can only have if you've got the most beautiful face in town, yeah, people are going to look at you, but they're not going to stay with you unless they see that you've got something up here so they can take it.
I think that's great advice, Jenna, and I appreciate you sharing it. And it's kind of interesting because of my whole goal for the show is to entertain, which is why I have on entertaining people like you, and sharing useful information exactly along the themes that you just said. So
right.
Tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get started in this? What motivated you? What kind of mistakes did you make? You know, what was your personal experience?
Well, I started all this when I was about 3 years old. Way back when. Back when I used to put a tutu on my head and pretend like it was a wig and a bucket on my head and a tutu. Okay. I am like center of attention kind of personality. Like I've always put on shows my whole life. Little shows, just, you know, people look at me. And I think it's because, you know, I was like, I grew up in a single parent home and I didn't have enough attention or something. So here, whenever I got to the point, one day, okay, and then skip many, many, many years, and then I started doing web development and SEO and lead generation. And in the SEO world, what you have to do is you have to provide information. The reason we had to provide information with SEO was because the search engines would not pick up our content if we didn't have keywords. So what we would do to generate thousands of leads is we would write these articles that were totally informative because people wanted to know what's in it for me, and they would come and they would do a search like, you know, houses in Dallas, and we would provide all kinds of content for them about houses in Dallas. Then we would use the law of reciprocity to get them to fill out our form. And what that means is that there's a psychological principle in human beings that says, if you give me something, I'm obligated to give back. So we would use this law of reciprocity principle, this psychological principle, and at the very bottom of all this information and data, we would put a little form, and it would say, now, if you're looking for a home in Dallas, call me, and then a nice little picture. Okay, and this would just generate tons and tons of leads because we were giving for free. We were giving things away for free. And they would fill out the form in return. Not everybody, but many, many people, the people we wanted to do business with. And so people that were taking the other approach of, you know, here, fill this form out and then we'll give you info. That didn't work. You had to give to get loyalty. And that would also establish you and your website as an authority among your target market. Well, whenever social media came out, Facebook came out, okay, I just took that a step further. Knowing what I knew, I mean, I've been generating thousands and thousands of leads online through SEO. So I just took that same knowledge. Now here I am up against people who are coming on Facebook wanting to market themselves, and they don't have any background. They know how to market, but that's old school. Today in the web, it's a new world. People can push back, they can push delete, they can push hide. The consumer is in control. The consumer is king. No longer are they captive to our radio programs or our television shows. They can leave us. So what do we have to do? We basically have to pay them to listen to us and pay attention to us, because we're in the attention economy where attention is the commodity. And in order to get that, we have limited attention. There's only so much to go around. In order to earn the attention, you have to provide information that your target market wants, or you've got to be extremely funny. And if you're, and it's got to be good stuff, and you've got to know how to package it in a way that's palatable to people on the web. And it's becoming crazy, because we used to be, like I mentioned earlier, we used to be able to do blogs and things like that. But today, the packets of information have to be broken down into little, you almost have to chew it up for people and spit it back out like a birdie, because people are so busy and they won't take time to read your content if you don't provide it to them in the format in which they can best digest it. So anyway, with all this said, I've always been an attention getter. I've always had a mind for how can I get attention and keep it. And I just still know how to do it. And I do that through providing valuable information and being real and being energetic. Back to you, Jeff.
I've wanted to have you on the show for quite a while, and I could see why, DotJenna. You're fun. But I think that's such great advice, to be enthusiastic, share valuable information, and share it in a bite-sized format, and entertain too. One of the things I got to say with this show that I've been so focused on is having on entertaining guests like you, because that's what makes the show fun.
Yes.
So, if people want to learn more about you and the things you do and learn about DotJenna, and I'm sure everyone on this show really wants to learn about you, DotJenna, where do you recommend they go to find this information?
Well, you can you can follow me on Twitter. You can go to twitter.com/DotJenna, or you can go to facebook.com/DotJenna. I'm everywhere. DotJenna fans, or you can go to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube. The best way is just to come onto Twitter and give me a tweet and say, hey, and I will kind of show you. If you're interested in having someone handle your social media marketing, I've got great packages where I can come in and either, get you right, set you up right, and show you how to do it, or we can actually do it for you every day. We love, love, love doing that. So if you need somebody to kind of set the pace for your brand, I'd love to do it. I know there's lots of you guys out there who are in need of really good social media. Can I ask you a question, Jeff?
Of course.
Have you heard about the new MySpace?
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it.
I'm excited. I just wanted to know that. I'm so excited, aren't you? There's a new MySpace. It's about to kick some booty.
Good. It'll be good to have them come back and actually do something. So yeah, very good stuff.
Yes.
I want to thank you for being on the show, DotJenna. You've been a fun, exciting guest. And I hope everyone checks you out at DotJenna on Twitter, and also gets in touch with her. Believe me, just Google DotJenna. You will find her. She's everywhere. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Marketing Made Simple TV show. Tune in next week to another great show with another great guest. Before we go, we want to thank our sponsors, Avatage, the content marketing company, Digital Ethos, the educational nonprofit, Communication Strategy Group, PR and Brand Telling, and the world's largest revenue performance management software company, Eloqua, and of course, the maker of our platform, which is Watch It Too. Marketing Made Simple TV premieres every Thursday at noon Eastern, so we hope you tune in next week for another great show. Until then, we'll see you next week on Marketing Made Simple TV.